She suggested a cozy dinner with our dearest friends, but deep down, I yearned for her to confess her betrayal. The plan was entirely hers, a simple gathering at our favorite restaurant, where our joy once lingered until the waitstaff gently nudged us out as closing time approached. She hinted at a special revelation, her eyes shimmering with an artificial glow, as though she were rehearsing contentment. That spark was no stranger to me. I'd seen it in our wedding photos, when she pledged her love, yet her gaze seemed to wander even then. That night, I let her take charge of every detail, the invitees, the menu, even the wine I had no plans to touch. I played along, offering nods of agreement, though I already sensed the truth behind her impending announcement. For months, I'd been waiting for this moment to unfold. 6 months earlier, her warmth toward me had faded into a cold void. No arguments, no explanations, just a growing chasm in the bed we once shared. I tried everything. Patience, playful banter, even stoic silence. Her excuses were relentless. Work stress, fleeting moods. Not now. Then one morning, she slipped back into old habits. A dash of perfume, a vivid lipstick she once said made her feel daring. The shift was subtle, but I caught it before she seemed to notice. Clandestine messages, locked bathroom doors, prolonged drives after work. These were the threads of something concealed. I tried to dismiss the signs, but betrayal has a distinct scent, one that clings once you've detected it. The clues grew impossible to ignore. Late-night showers, a sudden obsession with her diet, the way she flinched when my fingers grazed her side, it all screamed deception. So I investigated her phone, not the texts, she was too cautious for that. But she forgot one thing. The car's Bluetooth, which recorded her call history. A number labeled Mark Office appeared repeatedly. Mark wasn't her coworker, he was mine. I held back from confronting her. Silence, I learned, cuts deeper than anger. Methodically, I gathered proof, cloud-saved texts, call log captures, receipts from her shopping. When she began talking about wanting a baby, I saw through her facade. She wasn't trying to repair our connection. She was hiding something profound. Then I found it, a positive pregnancy test stashed in her gym bag. We hadn't been intimate in months. The following day, I met Mark for coffee, pretending we were just old pals catching up. He didn't suspect I knew. I asked about his work, his life. He avoided my eyes, stirring his coffee far too long. Guilt reveals itself in tiny movements. After he left, I followed him to a small apartment on the city's east side. The same one she claimed was for yoga sessions. That moment ended my role as her devoted spouse. I became a tactician, planning my response. I consulted my lawyer, quietly separated our finances, and moved my assets to a private account. The house, inherited from my parents, was solely mine. I visited a clinic, posing as someone checking insurance details, and inquired about paternity tests. They confirmed a DNA match was feasible with a sample. I nodded, content with the knowledge. In the weeks that followed, I perfected the role of the attentive husband, supportive, oblivious. I brought her flowers, kissed her tenderly, listened as she spoke of building a family. She thought she was outsmarting me, unaware she was weaving her own downfall. Then came the dinner night. She sat across from me, glowing with the false radiance of someone certain of their triumph. Our friends, unaware, laughed and drank around us, not sensing the scene I'd carefully prepared, ready to expose the truth. She tapped her glass, drawing everyone's attention. "I have something to share," she proclaimed, and the table leaned in. I leaned back. "I'm expecting a baby," she declared. Cheers erupted, glasses clinked, and laughter filled the room. Her eyes met mine, anticipating a performance, perhaps shock or joyful tears. Instead, I gave a calm smile. "Wonderful news, darling," I said, my voice soft, almost warm. Then, from my jacket, I pulled an envelope and placed it on the table. The chatter fell silent. "This," I went on, "is from the clinic you visited 3 weeks ago, across town." Her face drained of color. "What are you implying?" she faltered. I tapped the envelope. "The paternity test. Did you know they keep your signature on file?" Mark's hand froze on his glass. The room pulsed with tension. I slid another document forward. Photos, call logs, receipts, her lipstick smeared on his mug, An ultrasound appointment booked under her maiden name. The silence was heavy, suffocating. I spoke softly. You said you wanted a family. I just didn't realize you meant with my colleague. A gasp shattered the quiet. Mark stood, muttered an excuse, and bolted. She tried to speak, but her lips trembled, her face ashen. I signed the divorce papers yesterday, I said, my voice steady. Everything you thought we shared isn't yours anymore. Your things are packed by the door. Her shaking hand reached for me. Please, we can. I interrupted. No. You made sure we can't. I stood, placed a few bills beside her untouched dessert. Dinner's on me, I said. A final gesture. Then I walked away. Her sobs trailed after me, but I didn't look back. Not out of coldness, but because I'd loved too fiercely for too long. That night, I drove home with the windows down, the cool air washing away the last remnants of her presence. The house was quiet, peaceful. For the first time in months, I breathed without bracing for another lie. Revenge doesn't always require shouts or chaos. Sometimes it's the truth, delivered with surgical precision, sharp as a knife but smooth as a murmur. When you cut away the rot, you realize how light freedom feels. I didn't destroy her. I simply held up a mirror, its reflection unrelenting. She was the one who shattered. They say revenge is served cold. I disagree. That night, it felt warm, like freedom taking its first deep breath.